Tonight. Thank you for your service, a powerful example of a woman grounded in her purpose. My name is Nadia Morsi, and I'm the director of Make the Road Action New Jersey. And I'm here tonight on behalf of our nearly 7,000 working class and immigrant members across the beautiful state of New Jersey. This administration is one of the most violent and dangerous this country has ever seen. It was the Sunday after the inauguration around 10 o'clock in the morning, when we had begun to receive calls from members further down on South Broad Street in Elizabeth, New Jersey, that ICE was knocking doors and entering businesses. I remember when I got to South Broad, it was a ghost town. The bodega was closed, the T-Mobile was closed, the bakery was closed. The videos of what happened that morning started to circulate in WhatsApp chats and Facebook groups. I called the same members who had called me, who I knew lived near South Broad. And we came together and we split up to knock on doors with Know Your Rights materials and to invite community members to our centers. That's how you start. You just start. You set up a phone tree to check up on fellow Elizabeth members throughout the city, and we organized a town hall the following evening. More than 300 people attended with less than 20 hours notice. What we came to see, what we always come to learn, is that people are searching for community. And we kept that way, shocked but organizing in shock, reminding ourselves that our liberation is not found in any administration, but in our collective efforts. When the outcome of our fight has never been more important, I can say that the union is strong if we remain strong. Every day, I choose to organize, and every day, hundreds of thousands of people across America choose the same. And together, even in the midst of so much violence, we will win. Trump is making cuts to healthcare to funnel billions to ICE to build concentration camps in our backyards. They're using commercial warehouses that have been converted into concentration camps with floor maps that look like slave ships. Concentration camps where they're holding children and adults who have been kidnapped, citizen or not, for the crime of being black or brown or poor or Palestinian. In Roxbury, New Jersey, in Social Circle, Georgia, in San Antonio, Texas, in Surprise, Arizona. All across the country, in all of our backyards, fascism is rampant. And we have to ask ourselves the question, who are the puppet masters? They are the billionaires standing behind Donald Trump, pulling the strings. And these billionaires, they have names. Peter Thiel, Alex Karp, Elon Musk, and many more.
Jeff Bezos.
Corporations like Palantir are beta testing their mass surveillance systems on immigrants, and they are helping the administration compile data on U.S. residents across every government agency, including the IRS and law enforcement. They won't stop until they build an algorithmic surveillance where they profit on all of us. In the face of such blatant greed and hatred, the American people couldn't be more clear. We want an economy that delivers for all of us, and a country where we protect our neighbors. From Dilley to Delaney, we are prepared to dismantle ICE. This is not the path we chose to take, but if the only way out is through, then the only way through is together, as one people, fighting for the ones we don't know yet. Presidents can come and go, but we are here to stay.
And while we need to defund ICE, we need to deconstruct Homeland Security.
Let me get another round of applause for those queens. Deconstruct DHS. I think I can get down with that. If the funding runs out, I'm not sure it should come back. I realize Kash Patel needs to go to Italy on occasion for fun vacations to hang out with the hockey team on our dime. I realize that he likes to use the private jet. and that deconstructing and defunding DHS would interrupt the fun that he's having on our dime. But I think it's worth it. Make him buy a regular ticket on an airline like the rest of us. Coming to the stage. Now, I want you all to say after me, all right?
All right.
Say okay?
Okay.
Say, you said that.
You said that.
Say, you did that.
You did that.
All right?
All right.
Okay. You said that. Oh, I know you didn't say that. The next person that I'm bringing to the stage made that kind of call and response normalized in Congress. The greatest hype woman any member ever had. The woman who's gonna let you know when you said it and let you know when you failed to say it. The lady who is standing up for the Epstein survivors like nobody else. Coming to the stage from the great state of California. California's Fighting 37, Representative Sydney Kamlager. Doug, give her a round of applause. Give it up for Joy Reid, y'all. My hype women, how are you all tonight? It is a little cold. I am from Chicago, but it's still cold. So I don't know about you, but my mother has always told me, don't let nobody come up in your house and disrespect you. Now, unfortunately, I share my house with Speaker Johnson. Exactly. And he's got somebody up in my house disrespecting all of us. So I decided that I would hang out with my people, with the people, with all of us, the people who have been in the streets day after day, demanding better from our government. But in my stead, I sent a survivor, Jenna Lisa Jones, who at the age of 14 endured something that no child should have to. And she sent some words for me to share with you. As a survivor of the abuse and exploitation connected to Jeffrey Epstein, this invitation means far more to me than simply attending a historic address. It represents recognition that survivors' voices matter, that our experiences are not invisible, and that our resilience deserves to be seen and acknowledged in the very spaces where our nation's future is shaped. Moments like this remind me that we are not alone, that our stories have meaning, and that there are leaders who are willing to stand with us. I met and hung out with Jenna Lisa today. And as I listened to her, I was struck by the extraordinary courage that it takes as a survivor to show up and stand up and look your oppressor in the eye and say, I will not be silent. But sadly, this is a kind of courage that our president doesn't have. So as Donald Trump delivers his address and sees Jenna Lisa and her fellow survivors in the audience, he will be reminded what true leadership looks like. And it is not measured by applause from sycophants. It is measured by whether or not you stand by your word to fight against injustice, or whether you want to shield the folks who should be held accountable. But enough about Trump. I'm so tired of talking about this small man who is not worth any of our time. Because this People's State of the Union is not about him. It's about us. And what is worth our time
our work. And y'all, let me tell you, up until November and for the next couple of years, it will be a lot of work. But what is worth our time is the future that we want to build. Every single one of us wants an America as good as her promise. And each of our dreams are different. That's what makes diversity so amazing. But there are some fundamentals, y'all, that are just non-negotiable. We have to take on the corporations and the monopolies that are squeezing every dollar out of our pockets and making us poorer. We have got to lower the cost of health care and everyday necessities. Nobody should be forced to make a decision about if they are going to pay the rent or stay alive. We have got to make the dream of home ownership real. It is not if you try to dream and work to own a home that it costs you a future and limits your future instead of allowing you to build a future. And we have got to build an education system that opens the doors for all of our young people rather than shutting them down and burying them in student loan debt. And yes, we need an immigration system that lives up to the founding ideals of this country. Diversity is not the threat. It is the very source of who we are as a nation, y'all. And we have to empower our cities, our rural communities with the resources they need to solve 21st and 22nd century problems. And above all, we must, and if you don't know it by now, then you have not been paying attention, but we must save and protect and defend and make more righteous our democracy. Because without it, absolutely none of this is possible. This weekend, I was back home in California in my district, and I was talking to one of my constituents, May. And May said, I want to be able to trust my government again. I want elected officials who will be honest with me. I want to see courage. And real talk, y'all, we have a government that is working harder to harm us than help us. Real talk, we have a government right now where justice goes to the highest bidder and the lowest kneeler. And that is not what we've signed up for, and that's not what we deserve. It is time, it is wait time, it is past time in Black History Month and every other month of the year, y'all. It is time for the moral goodness of this country to match our economic might. For our leaders to put people over profits, compassion over cruelty, and equity over evil. This is our country. This is our moment. And just like Jenna Lisa said, we will not be silenced. The People's State of the Union starts tonight. And we're going to keep it going every day of the week through November and to the end of this man's term until we get the country that we deserve. Thank you so much.
Well done, well done. All right, all right, all right, all right. California love. Well, maybe Crip walk up in here because I'm from that generation. Coming to the stage next from the great state of Massachusetts. Deal? Okay, we like breathing, we like clean air, right? We like clean water, Green New Deal, we like it. Coming to the stage right now is the champion of the Green New Deal, a man who has fought for justice, for equality, and for a country we can actually breathe in. Give it up for Senator Ed Markey. He is going to be reading a story from Gladys Vega, the president and CEO of La Collaborativa in Chelsea, Massachusetts, which has been providing critical resources and support to Chelsea and the greater Boston region since the year of our Lord 1990 by empowering Latino individuals and families, promoting educational opportunity, advocating for social justice, and fostering economic empowerment. Give it up for Senator Ed Markey.
Joy Reid, what a job she is doing tonight. Just absolutely incredible, Joy. Thank you. Thank you all for being out here this evening. Tonight, I am not in the U.S. Capitol for Donald Trump's State of the Union address. I am here with you at the People's State of the Union. Because the State of the Union should be a moment of truth, a reckoning with reality, a commitment to the common good. But under Donald Trump, it has become a lies-a-palooza that goes on for hours. With him, if he was Pinocchio, his nose would stretch across the entire length of the floor of the Congress this evening. It's one big lie, a made-for-TV spectacle, a bogus sales pitch, and a slap in the face of the millions of Americans who are living through their struggles each and every day. Trump won't stand before Congress tonight and say that everything is fine. He will say the economy is the best ever, while working families are drowning under the weight of healthcare bills and housing costs and food costs and Trump tariff taxes. He will say the system is working and that we need more corporate tax breaks, while the billionaire CEO cronies loot this country under the cover of manufactured crisis. He will say the country is safer, while immigrant communities live in fear of masked agents ripping parents from their children, and innocent people are murdered in our streets at the hands of ICE thugs operating with impunity. This is not a State of the Union address. I will legitimize. So tonight, I stand with you with an urgent message. We cannot agonize. We must organize against Donald Trump in 2026. And we must fight back, because Donald Trump is doing to our country, and it is something that cannot be allowed to continue. Because I will not stand while this administration attacks immigrant families and uses ICE as his own private army to use a paramilitary force that terrorizes entire communities. I will not stand by while they got our healthcare system, undermining Medicaid, Medicare, the Affordable Care Act, our education system, our environmental justice funding, and looting all of that money to give tax breaks to millionaires and to billionaires. I will not stand by while they target transgender people, demonizing trans kids, banning them from schools and sports, and trying to erase their very existence from public life. Trans rights are human rights. They cannot be trampled. I will not stand by while they roll back civil rights protections, undermine reproductive freedom, rig our tax code so that billionaires pay less while the rest pay more. Every time I vote against a Trump nominee or a Trump budget, I draw a line for you. A line between democracy and authoritarianism, a line between justice and cruelty, a line between government that represents we the people and one that glorifies we the Epstein class. And I will keep drawing that line every single day. But I know that voting no is not enough. Because what is at stake at this moment is not a single bill, or a single nominee, or even a single presidency. What is at stake is whether the United States of America remains a democracy that works for the many, or becomes a dictatorship that serves only the few. We are living in a critical moment, and we must fight back. Trump wants to scare us into submission, but when he rolls back our rights, we roll up our sleeves. And that means we must be louder, we must push back harder than ever before. So I'm here to ask every single person out in the crowd and online, will you fight for our future? Will you fight for our democracy? Because we know that we must defund and abolish ICE. We must get ICE out of our cities. We must remove RFK Jr. from any public position that puts lives at risk. We must say out loud that vaccines work. We must fire Kristi Noem and Kash Patel for their lawlessness and complicity in the crimes that we have seen committed right before our eyes. We must reverse Trump's disastrous tax cuts for the wealthy and instead invest that in relief for working families. And we must save Medicare and Social Security and expand funding for Medicaid. We don't need endless warfare. We need universal health care. We need Medicare for all. The real security Americans need is a livable future. Affordable housing, free college, clean air, clean water, clean energy, and a Green New Deal. That is what we need. And we must impeach Donald Trump. We are not going to allow him to steal this election. We are not going to allow him to terrorize black and brown voters from going to the polls. We are going to stand up. We are going to fight. If he puts the Marines and the Army out on the streets this October and November, we're going to come out by 10 million people, 20 million people, 30 million people onto the streets of this country and shut this country down for democracy. To have an election. So this is not time to stay silent. This is a time to stand up and fight. When the Minutemen and Minutewomen were taking on the most powerful military in the world, they were knocked down, they were not knocked out. They got up, they fought, they won. When the abolitionists fought, they were knocked down, they were not knocked out. They got up, they fought, and they won. When the suffragettes were out, they were knocked down. They were not knocked out, they got up, they fought, and they won. When Martin Luther King Jr. and Coretta Scott King began a movement, they were knocked down. They were not knocked out. They got up. They fought. They won. Same-sex marriage, universal health care. They were knocked down. They fought and they won. And we are going to fight. And we are going to win. We are knocked down. We are not knocked out. This is a fight that we are going to win because we know in this country that this progress has never come from silence. It has never come from surrender. It has never come from sitting on the sidelines. It comes because people get up and they fight and they win. So that is what tonight is all about. It has come from people, ordinary people, standing together and saying, enough to corruption, enough to cruelty, enough to policies that sacrifice the vulnerable for the powerful, because our power is not in the Oval Office. It is not a billionaire CEO's bank account. It is not a corporate boardroom. Our power is in the movement. It's on the streets of this country. It's our voices, it's our votes, it's our willingness to stand together, to fight for those who are most vulnerable in our society, to fight for our democracy itself. So let's leave here tonight saying we're ready to organize. We're ready to galvanize. We are ready to fight, not just for ourselves, but for the generations to come. Because we will stand together and we will win. So thank you all so much for being here. And I'm going to read briefly a statement from Gladys Vega from Chelsea, Massachusetts, whose plane was stranded on the runway of Logan Airport and could not be here tonight. But this is her statement. As president of La Collaborativa, the largest Latin-led organization in Massachusetts, I'm grateful for the opportunity to address all of you tonight, even though I can't be there. Based in Chelsea, Massachusetts, we represent one of the communities hardest hit by the cruel, unjust tactics of ICE. In communities like Chelsea, the disappearance of loved ones is occurring every single day. Fear paralyzes the daily lives of countless residents, including those that protected us during COVID-19 and currently sustain the economy. In our city's downtown and storefronts, they are quiet, and sidewalks are desolate, with local businesses grinding to a halt. The Chelsea School District reports a major decline in enrollment and widespread absences, resulting in a budget deficit that will deprive children of education for future generations. Housing and infrastructure projects, a priority of Massachusetts, are collapsing, furthering unemployment and hardship. In communities like Chelsea, people are vanishing into thin air. Quiet mornings are punctuated by jarring violence. Students are assaulted by ICE agents sitting outside the high school. Hardworking residents are torn from their vehicles in front of their children. Families hopelessly search for signs of their loved ones who have stopped answering their phones, stopped replying to texts. They frantically call hospitals, scour social media, and come to La Collaborativa. This is the message of Gladys Vega to America tonight. It is that this must stop. This is un-American. It is illegal. It is unconstitutional. And the people are going to rise up and fight for Gladys Vega and all of those poor people who today need to know that the People's State of the Union is the beginning of a long fight that is going to result in the end of Republican control of the House of Representatives and the Senate in the United States of America in 2026. Thank all of you for being out here tonight. Thank you for your willingness to stand and fight. Thank you. Oh my goodness.
Thank you. You're gonna get us that tariff money too, aren't you? Where's my check? I know, where's my check? That's what the senator's doing. He's gonna get us our money. Because otherwise, we don't get shit. Alrighty. So, there's a Shakespeare saying, it's a quote that I have in my social media profile. It says, though she may be little, she be fierce. And that's what we got with Congresswoman Becca Balint from the state of Vermont. She put Pamela Joe in her place and then some just a week ago. And tonight she's joined by a very special guest, Mohsin Madwadi. Now, Mohsin showed up for an immigration appointment, a citizenship appointment, and then was illegally detained for at least 2 weeks. Why? Because he dared to express a position that Donald Trump didn't like. And as we see our free speech, our journalists, our First Amendment under attack, the Trump administration is making one thing clear. It's only what he wants you to think and say, because everything else will result in you being arrested, thrown into detention. But what happens is the rule of law, when we've got judges and the rule of law doing what it's supposed to do, we have justice. Please welcome Congresswoman Becca Balint and Mohsin Madwadi.
To be here with all of you. So I like to refer to myself as that scrappy little dyke from Vermont. But tonight I'm America's scrappy little dyke. I'm a bare knuckle brawler with a heart. And that's what we need right now. We need people who are both going to bring the fight, and they're going to do it with an open heart, with compassion for all people living in this country. So thank you for being here tonight. We are going to draw strength from each other. That's why we've come together tonight. Now, I know many people out here are feeling angry, and you're feeling anxious and frustrated. I get it. This administration is trying to break us. But they can't. Because, in the words of June Jordan, We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the ones. We are the ones we've been waiting for that are going to change the course, are going to turn the tide on this dark, dark time. It's us. It's not that man in the building behind me who spreads division and fear. It's us. It's in our hands. And it is our collective courage that is going to make the difference. So I wanted to be out here tonight with people who are forward-looking, people who understand the stakes, and that we have to stand up for not just our individual rights, but for the rights of everyone across this country. And we must be the light for each other. Don't lose heart. I am in the belly of the beast every day in Congress, and I have not lost heart. I have not lost heart. They will not break us. They will not break us, because we understand that is our collective power. That is much more powerful than any intimidation that this administration will bring to bear. And I wanted to bring my friend Mosa Madawi with me today because he has a powerful story to tell about standing up, not just for his own First Amendment rights, but for all of us. So I'm going to turn the microphone over to Mosa so he can tell you his story, and you will understand why he is an inspiration for so many people, not just back in Vermont, but across this country. Mohsen, thank you for coming tonight. Please tell your story.
Brothers and sisters, dear friends, my beloved community, it's an honor to be in union with you here. You, the American people, you are the people. It's also my honor as a Palestinian refugee, a descendant of the Nakba survivors, to stand here in solidarity with and to carry the torch for justice and for peace with Congresswoman Becca Ballant, who is also a descendant of Holocaust survivors, a Jewish woman. If there is light, this is part of the light. 12 years ago, I came to this country carrying with me not only the experience of living under the Israeli occupation in a refugee camp without freedom, never tasted the freedom or the safety, but also I came carrying with me my inner child, a child that was deeply wounded by trauma. At the age of 8, I buried my brother. At the age of 11, I saw my best friend getting shot and killed in front of my eyes. At the age of 12, I witnessed an Israeli strike that killed several people and shattered them into pieces. I collected their body parts in my own hands, peeling off skin off the wall and collecting fingers off the ground to put it in plastic bags to honor their lives. But I'm not here to talk about the darkness of injustice. I am here to talk about the light of hope and the light of love. And this is something that America has shown me when I came here. In America, and for the first time in my life, not only I've experienced safety and love, but also I found the American people who hosted me, who guided me, who helped me to heal from my inner childhood trauma. In America, I learned that the human being is not the enemy. The enemy is the system that capitalizes on fear, on ignorance, and on segregation. The fear that divides Republicans and Democrats, the people. The fear that divides citizens and immigrants, the people. The fear that creates monsters and create division in America. And in America, I also learned what MLK has said: injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Injustice everywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. And that is what we are witnessing here, that the injustice that this administration is causing, tearing communities apart, scaring people and inciting fear and intimidation, destroying the most sacred document in this country, which is the Constitution of this country, and going and attacking us for practicing our First Amendment rights and our free speech is a form of injustice, and that the fight for justice in America, the fight to save this democracy, is interconnected with the fight for justice in Palestine for the Palestinian people. Now, about a year ago, the Trump's administration came after me during my citizenship interview, not for violating any law, but for speaking my truth, the truth from a place of love, from a place of empathy, from a place of compassion. My truth that I don't want to see children in Palestine or Israel or in America or anywhere else to suffer like I've suffered when I was a child. During my citizenship interview, and after they asked me if I'm willing to take the pledge of allegiance to protect and defend this country and to protect the constitution of this country, they were the ones who betrayed it. They detained me and took me out of there, handcuffed, and threw me in prison. They thought that they will make an example of me and that they would intimidate me. And they were wrong. Because our fight is a just fight. Our fight in America and our fight for Palestinians and our fight elsewhere is a fight for humanity. And if we believe in justice, there is no power that can intimidate us. The tools of this administration is to scare us, to intimidate us, so we can lose sight, so we can lose vision. But if we continue to unite together and work out and connect and fight from a place of love, not a place of fear, they cannot do that. When I was released from my detention after spending 16 days, I came out and I sent a message to the president and his cabinet. And I told them that I will not be intimidated. And if you are feeling like me, unafraid, repeat after me. We the people.
We the people.
Say it loud and clear.
Say it loud and clear.
To President Trump and his cabinet.
To President Trump and his cabinet.
We are not afraid of you.
We are not afraid of you.
Because the love that shines in our hearts,
the love that shines in our hearts,
is much brighter and more powerful.
It's much brighter and more powerful
than the darkness of fear that's blinding you.
Than the darkness of fear that's blinding you.
The people united will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated.
The people united will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated.
Everyone, onward with courage, every single one of us. Strive beyond what you think is possible. Give other people hope and inspiration. It is our collective courage that is going to get us through. Thank you so much for being out tonight.
Thank you!
All right, well done. All right, y'all. You guys got energy? Now listen. Y'all good? Now, just in case you are feeling a little bit of FOMO and want to know what's going on over there, let me give you a quick briefing. Basically bullshit. Donald Trump is wearing a lot of makeup on his hand. Nobody knows why. Diapers are probably in place to make sure that he does not have an accident. He has cited the Dow reaching 50,000. One person applauded. People had their money on that being Pamela Joe Bondi. But before he even got a chance to speak, Representative Al Green of the great state of Texas. Now, I am not in favor of people attending that State of the Union bullshit tonight. But the one man that I kind of wanted to be there was Representative Al Green. And he showed up. And before Donald Trump could even get a word in edgewise or get to the stage, he held up a sign reminding Donald Trump that black people are not apes. Something you have to tell Donald Trump because he's not too bright. So what I will say to Representative Al Green, if you can hear me, I'm so in love with you. Come on, hear it, keep it going. Whatever you want to do, woo, it's all right with me. Do not demonetize us, YouTube. I know it's a song that's copywritten. Let's now bring to the stage one of the strongest voices for justice from the Progressive Caucus, the emeritus leader of the Progressive Caucus, a sister, a woman that has fought for justice, for equality, for the people from the other Washington State. Please give a healthy round of applause for Representative, and she does embody that word, representative, Pramila Jayapal, and she is going to be, and she is going to be joined by Lauren Hirsch, who is one of the leading legal voices fighting for the Epstein victims. Give her a round of applause.
Hey everybody, it is so good to be with you. Thank you for being out here in the cold at the People's State of the Union. I really appreciate Move On organizing this tonight and all the people that are on the live stream across the country, because this matters. It matters that we are out here and that we are not in that chamber. Woo! Because when we look at the People's State of the Union, people in Minnesota, in Illinois, in California, Oregon, who have stood up nonviolently and with tremendous risk to their own lives to this authoritarian regime that murders its own citizens in the streets and then lies about it. They are saying, not on our watch. People are saying, not on our watch, to an illegal and unconstitutional administration that kidnaps and disappears immigrants of every status who call this country home. An immoral administration that incarcerates tens of thousands of immigrants, including children in for-profit jails where 39 people have died in the 1 year that Donald Trump has been in office. We say, not on our watch. Not on our watch. Working and poor Americans who watch while Donald Trump makes billions for himself and his billionaire buddies using grift and corruption and stealing from the American people, all the while stripping health care and housing from tens of millions of Americans and driving up costs everywhere. Not on our watch. And yes, our trans kids across this country who are sick and tired of being bullied because it's not trans kids driving up your rent, it is the billionaires doing that. We are standing up for our trans kids across the country. And of course, the survivors who are showing us exactly what courage and resilience looks like. My official guest for State of the Union is a constituent of mine who is an Epstein survivor who is in that building right now, showing the strength and the face of courage to be in that building with Donald Trump speaking, because they don't want him to not see them. They are demanding that they be seen, because the survivors of this horrific global sex trafficking ring of Jeffrey Epstein's, the predators and the pedophiles who need to be brought to justice, will be brought to justice because of the courage and the resilience and the voices of these brave survivors. So yes, Donald Trump, we are out here instead of in there, because our State of the Union is strong, because the people of this country are strong, and we will not sit down, shut up, move on, or be silenced. We demand that all the predators, the pedophiles, the grifters, the lawless agents, and you, Donald Trump, be brought to justice. It has been the honor of my life to work with real survivors in every single realm that we're talking about tonight. And tonight I have the honor to introduce a woman who has been an indispensable part of our Epstein survivor movement, who has been working with the survivors to demand that the United States hold these predators accountable. Yes, we should lock them up. And to make sure that we prosecute them, that we bring them down, that we hold them accountable, just like we see in the UK and around the world. Tonight, inside the chamber, Donald Trump will have to face those survivors the same damn way that I forced Pam Bondi to face those survivors in the And so please join me in welcoming the amazing, the strategic, the remarkable Lauren Hirsch, who is the co-director of World Without Exploitation. Lauren Hirsch, give it up for her.
Well, that is a tough act to follow. I am so honored to be here tonight with you, and especially with you, Representative Jayapal. This is one amazing woman who has stood beside these survivors through thick and thin. And we will make sure that every single file is released. And I know that they're over there making sure that every file is released. And you have exhibited extraordinary leadership, so thank you. For 30 years, Jeffrey Epstein operated one of the largest sex trafficking rings in the world. It was a vast web of powerful men committing horrific acts of violence against women and girls, and it was in plain sight. For decades, our government didn't just look away, but they buried the truth. While survivors were forced to carry unimaginable pain in silence. But this summer, everything changed. In September, Epstein survivors came together and made something unmistakably clear. The days of powerful men operating with impunity are officially over. And it has been a wild 6 months. But now, we are in a serious moment of reckoning. Every day we're witnessing the untouchables collapse before our eyes. Prince Andrew is no longer a prince. He is no longer shielded by a royal title, and he faces criminal charges. Around the globe, exploiters who once hid behind wealth and influence in institutions are beginning to fall like a giant game of dominoes. We aren't quite seeing that here just yet, but I'm pretty sure, I heard you, it's coming. And in this moment, when we're being told and they're being being told to move on and there's nothing to see, survivors are doubling down and they are reclaiming their power. They are at the State of the Union tonight and they are facing an administration who has betrayed them time and time again. To every survivor out there who refuses to disappear, you are changing history. Keep speaking your truth because the earth is shaking.
Give it up for Lauren Hirsch and the survivors across this country. We will bring justice. Keep standing up. Keep speaking out. Keep building our movement because this is our democracy. Thank you, everybody. Have a great night.
We even got a mic drop from the Congresswoman. So there's one thing that we've always demanded as Americans. We want consistency in the fighters that we have that are in DC. And the next speaker is someone who did that for us when he was in the House. He's doing that for us as a senator. Once upon a time, there was a time when if people had the courage, they could have convicted Donald Trump in his first impeachment trial, and we wouldn't have to deal with this now. And the man who led that charge was a congressman from California by the name of Adam Schiff. And if there's anybody who understands what the rule of law is and the power of norms and institutions, it's Adam Schiff. And now as a senator, even though felon Trump, because look, you can be a draft-dodging, bone spurs convicted felon and still be in the Oval Office. Adam Schiff is now being targeted by the weaponized Pamela Joe DOJ. And yet Senator Schiff says, hell no, I'm not going to do it. Jeanine Pirro, hell no too. We have Senator Schiff here tonight. He has a letter. And it's from Alejandro Barranco. He is one of the 3 Marine sons, right? He is a veteran and a son of a landscaper that we saw on video working hard, because only in Trump's America can you be working hard on a Saturday as a landscaper, get chased down by federal agents, and get your ass beaten, right? Only in Trump's America. But Senator Schiff is here. He has a letter from Alejandro Barranco, one of 3 Marines in that family who have given everything in service of this country to only in turn see their father be punished. Please welcome a true fighter to our stage, Senator Adam Schiff.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Adam.
Thank you, Adam.
Thank you. Thank you for being out here in the cold. Thank you for speaking truth to power.
Yeah.
I am very proud to join you. Tonight, the President stands under the Capitol Dome, claiming that our union is stronger than ever. Of all the lies that he will tell in his long and rambling address, this may be the most painfully false. Due to his hate, his cruelty, and his indecency, we are more divided now than at any time since the Civil War. Trump's promises have all been broken. He promised to bring down costs, but inflation is up. He promised to bring back jobs, but manufacturing has fled. He promised to end trade deficits, but they have reached all-time highs. But no failure is more glaring, more significant, or more damning than his failure to bring our country together. In January of 2017, Donald Trump stood just a couple hundred yards from this place and took the oath of office for the first time, swearing to uphold the Constitution. As you recall, he painted a dystopian portrait of the country, which he described as American carnage. Little could we know at the time, it was less a portrait of the country as it existed then, as much as a prophecy of what he would seek to bring about in the future. For he has created chaos in our streets. Masked, heavily armed, and poorly trained ICE agents and Border Patrol forces sweep through major cities, demanding to see people's papers. In the United States of America, they are demanding to see people's papers. They have detained citizens and non-citizens alike, shot people dead through their windshields, and while laying face down in the street. When the courts have ruled against this administration's lawless conduct of its administration raids, their opinions have been ignored. When universities dare to protest, their federal funding has been cut. When law firms represent clients whose interests are adverse to the administration, they are punished. When media organizations speak truth to power, they are forced to pay him millions. Personally, all of this violates the oath the president took to faithfully administer the laws, to vigorously defend the Constitution. Thankfully, our founders gave us the tools to fight back against a man who would be king. And chief among those tools is one more powerful than all the rest, and that is the right to vote. And this November, my friends, we must use that tool. We must vote. One man's story tells us why. On a Saturday afternoon in June in Orange County, California, a landscaper named Narciso Barranco was working outside an IHOP. He lived in the United States since the 1990s, undocumented, yes, but no criminal record. American in every way except for in his papers. In that time, he'd raised 3 sons, all U.S. Marines. That Saturday in June, a group of men approached, masked, in tactical gear, guns drawn. They tackled him, pepper sprayed him, beat him violently, dislocating his shoulder. They detained him, no food, no water, no medical treatment for 24 hours. When he was finally able to get in touch with his family over the phone, he had one request of his sons. He asked them to retrieve his landscaping tools and finish the job he was doing. I wish just a few of my colleagues in that building on the other side of the aisle had the same dedication to their jobs, to their oath of office, to the Constitution of the United States. Narciso Barranco asked his sons to finish the job. His son, Marine Corps veteran Alejandro Barranco, couldn't be here tonight, but he sent me this to read to you. What happened, he said, didn't just happen to an immigrant. It happened to an American family. Families across this country are living in fear, separated by a system that has lost its humanity. We can protect our laws without abandoning our values. We are here because America must be better, fairer, safer, and worthy of the people who believe in it. Now, just a few weeks ago, Narciso Barranco thankfully had his deportation case dismissed by a federal judge. But tonight we must all heed the words of Narciso Barranco. We must take up the tools our founders have given us to protect our democracy and finish the job. Between now and November, the president will make every effort to discourage Americans from voting. He will make it harder to register and turn out. He may send ICE agents to polling places to intimidate our citizens. He will cast doubt on the results when his party loses. Our Our response must be to work harder, organize better, turn out higher than ever before. We must view every obstacle placed in our way as a challenge to be overcome with resilience, with defiance, as a gauntlet thrown down that we must pick up. The fight for our democracy is a fight worth having, for it is democracy that makes all progress possible, and it is a struggle we can win if we pick up the tools we have been given and finish the job. In November, are you ready to finish the job? In November, are you ready to throw the bombs out? In November, are you ready to defend our democracy? In November, are you ready to push back, to fight back, and to save this country? Let us pick up the tools our founders gave us and let us finish the job. Thank you, and God bless you for being here. Thank you so much.
All right. One more time for the senator from the great California. We love the Californians, but we now are going to turn to the great state of Illinois, which was one of the earliest cities to see the absolute terrorism being unleashed upon Americans and immigrants alike by ICE, by the secret police being deployed by this regime. And one of the stalwarts in the great state of Illinois who has been fighting for the rights of people, for the humanity of the American people and our immigrant neighbors is one Representative Delia Ramirez. And she is going to be here from the great 3rd District in Illinois. Come on. And she is going to be speaking tonight in honor of Silverio, Keith, Renee, Alex, Linda, Ruben, and the 38 lives that we have lost at the hands of DHS, including Illinois resident Nenko Ganchev. Please give it up for Representative Delia Ramirez.
Folks, in 5 months, they're going to be really hot. Just remember that, okay? I'm trying to remind myself of that. Well, hi everyone. Buenas noches.
Buenas noches.
As you heard, I'm la congresista Delia Catalina Ramírez. Y soy la hija orgullosa de padres guatemaltecos, ciudadana de nacimiento por derecho y representante del Distrito 3, una comunidad que está en la calle luchando contra los fascistas todos los días. Yes, I said it in Spanish. Because even as the fascists seek to diminish, to divide, and dehumanize us, we must remain powerful and defiant to fascists. You know, I talk a lot about the authoritarian playbook and how this administration casts the other as enemies, weaponize fear, perpetrate corruption, and reward cruelty and abuse executive power. But tonight I want to talk to you about the Trump and his administration and their abuse. They're abusing the power of government to prosecute dissent. They're abusing immigration enforcement to terrorize us. They're abusing detention to punish our neighbors. They're abusing the military to occupy our cities. They're abusing federal resources to enrich their donors, their campaign donors. They're abusing the justice system to silence survivors, discredit victims, and avoid accountability. We need to see that everything that Donald Trump and his cronies are doing are interconnected abuse intended to intimidate us, to control us, and to try to destroy us. They want us small and they want us silent. And they've tried to silence us by chokeholds, by full body restraints, by criminal charges, by care withheld, by reckless chases, by people disappeared and even executed. Yep. But let me tell you, today in that gallery, my seat is empty. Representing more than the 40 lives we have lost to the violence of the Trump administration, who want our resources, our freedoms, our lives to advance their imperialistic, fascist, authoritarian agendas. But here's the thing. They can try to persecute us. They're going to try to terrorize us, punish us, occupy, and discredit us. But they will never, ever silence us. Am I right? Never! Because el pueblo unido jamás será será vencido. We are the legacy of the leaders who look at abusers in the eyes and refuse to be silent, and we fight back. So tonight, I'm calling us to remember who we are. We are being targeted by a regime that wants to break our resistance, make an example of us, because in fact, we are strong. We are powerful, and we are unafraid. We persist and we lift our voices. We defy their control because our resistance defies the state of the union. And here I can tell you that the state of the resistance is strong. Tonight, I'm not interested in moments of silence. I'm not willing to sit there silently while the abuser-in-chief lies, manipulates, and gaslights the American people. I stand with el pueblo, with the people, defiantly speaking the names of Silverio, Keith, Renee, Alex, Linda, Ruben, and the 38 people who have died in ICE detention since the start of 2025. I'm talking about Lourdes, Eber, Victor, Paradi, Luis, Geraldo, Luis, Nenko, Delvin, Fard, Jean, Shiraz, Pete, Francisco, Kai, Gabriel, Hassan, Leo, Miguel, Hubing, Norlan, Ismael, Santos, Oscar, Lorenzo, Chu Fang. My fingers, one moment. Cien, Isidro, Johnny, Jesus, Abelardo, Marie, Nan, Brian, Juan, Maskim, Sarahwit, and Henry. Tonight, I ask you to be as loud as you can and say with me, we demand justice. Say it with me.
We demand justice! We demand justice!
And that is why we will melt ICE and dismantle the Department of Homeland Security. We will defend our democracy from authoritarians, fascists, and those who believe it for sale. We will uphold our shared humanity from Chicago to Palestine to Congo. And that is just the beginning, because we're going to build a future where we're free from being priced out, defrauded, displaced, or expelled. A future where we're free from exploitation, trafficking, deportation, detention, occupation, and genocide. A free day from economic exploitation, poverty, slavery, income inequality, wage abuse, discrimination, and intimidation. A day where we are free from the oppression and the inequity that have defined our community's experience of being American. So my ask for you today, America, neighbors, constituents, is that we demand more together. A future in which our rights and freedoms mean working people have every single thing they need to thrive. And are we ready for that kind of world? Are we ready for that kind of America? Are we gonna fight like hell for it? Because listen to me, and listen to me loud and clear. We have the power to organize, to build coalition, to practice solidarity, to shift the narrative, and to take care of one another, because we're already doing it together in the people's State of the Union. Because the people and the power of the people is greater than the weapons that they would wield against us. So together, juntos, we will create a more just, a more peaceful, and loving world. And the key is together, juntos, let's go.
Let's go! Let's go!
And let's abolish ICE while we're at it, huh?
Muchas gracias. Alrighty, so those of you guys may remember that Donald Trump promised a lot of shit when he ran.
Say that.
One of them was what? No more wars. And yet, in the time that this guy's been in office, he's done some wackadoo stuff when it comes to our military. And no, it's not just DUI Hegseth that we're looking at. We're talking about felon Trump. There is a congressman from Connecticut. His name is Jim Himes. And he's on House Permit Select Intel. And when I tell you that this is the man that is standing in the breach, that is making sure that Americans get transparency when it comes to this type of operations, it's Congressman Jim Himes. Tonight, he is joined by Madeline Beckett, who's based in Lansing, Michigan. And she lives in a mobile home park that's been bought out by private equity, of course. Profits over people. Since that takeover, she's had unbelievable, horrible experiences, including huge unexpected fees, undrinkable water, and an end to necessary maintenance. How are we supposed to live? Please welcome to our stage Congressman Jim Himes and Madeline Beckett.
Thank you, Katie, and thank you all. Thank you, America. Thank you, resistors. Thank you for people of goodwill. Katie's exactly right. I spent a lot of time on national security, but what does it mean to have national security if we don't have housing security, if we don't have economic security, if we don't have dignity? What does national security mean? I am so happy to be with you tonight because I caught the very beginning of that speech, and I heard President Trump say that we're the hottest country, that everything is fine, that people are richer and better and bigger than ever before. I don't know who he was talking about. Maybe he was talking about Ivanka. Maybe he was talking about Jared. Maybe he was talking about his billionaire cabinet members. But you know what? He wasn't talking about us. He certainly wasn't talking about Madeline. He wasn't talking about the tens of millions of people like Madeline Beckett of Lansing, Michigan, who, like so many Americans, worked 45 years, day in and day out, showing up for the job, raised a daughter, and now struggles to make ends meet in this richest, hottest country in the world. How does that work? You can't do much in this country if you can't afford a home, if you can't pay the rent. Too many of my constituents have given up on the idea that their kids might live in the communities in which they grew up. They have given up on the idea that they might advance and maybe save a little something for retirement or to educate their kids, because we have a housing crisis in this country. We got to build 5 million units just to get back to a place where Americans can afford housing. And in the meantime, hardworking, middle class, true Americans, and by true Americans I mean people who go to work every single day and who at the end of the week worry a little bit about those bills who are coming in the coming week. Real Americans who understand what it is to live in this country and to work hard and to live with dignity are getting squeezed out. There have been a lot of politicians up here tonight, but we got to never lose sight of who it is that we're fighting for. And so for that reason, it is my profound honor to introduce you to Madeline Beckett of Lansing, Michigan. Madeline, thank you so much for being with us here tonight. This, by the way, is the first time that Madeline Beckett has spoken in front of a crowd. So we're going to help her along.
Yes, I'm nervous. My name is Madeline Beckett. I'd like to thank all of you for having me here tonight. I'm very honored. I live in Windsor Estates, a manufactured home community in Diamonddale, Michigan, just outside Lansing. I'm here tonight because private equity has stolen my retirement, threw my life upside down, and soon will leave me homeless.
Oh my God.
I spent 45 years working as a bookkeeper. I traveled a lot for my job, so living in manufactured communities has always been convenient and affordable. They were good places to live, they were safe, neighbors looked out for one another, upkeep was easy, and we could count on maintenance by the park owners. The best park I lived in was Windsor Estates, which convinced me that's where I would go back to buy my last home that I'd get to pick. I made a financial plan to determine what I could afford, and I bought my last house in Windsor. And it was great. It was exactly what I hoped for, and it was a good neighborhood. Then the private equities came along, And the first place they bought was only there for 6 months. Then they just sold it to another firm, another private equity, and they took advantage of the fact that we're trapped. We can't move our homes. They raised the rent. They added all kinds of fees. They reduced their staffing. And they bleed people like me dry. They're now charging us water, which used to be included in the rent, and that's over $100 a month. Plus, we get to pay them an administration fee and pay for our trash, which also was included in our rent. Thank you. The best thing about it is we paid, excuse me. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, the government subsidized the buying of our park with a loan from Freddie Mac. My tax dollars helped steal my retirement. After all the added costs, I am now on the verge of being homeless. Oh my God. I don't have anywhere to go. I started going to meetings of the local homelessness coalition to figure out what to do when I lose my home. I've had to take on a roommate at my age. Seriously? Every month I have to borrow money from a friend. I now owe her over $5,000, and I don't know how I'll ever pay her back. I don't even know how to properly thank her. Without her, I would be on the street right now. But I'm not going to sit back and take it. And neither are other people in the mobile home community parks all over Michigan and the country. If I can stand up now and fight back at my age, in my condition, living on the edge of homelessness, you can too. We need all of you here to put limits on how much these corporate landlords can raise our rents, and we need it now. We need to stop shoveling tax dollars to the predators, and we need to stop it now. And we need elected officials to grow a pair and stand up for us.
That's who we're fighting for. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much. One more time for the Senator from Maryland. That is who we elect people to fight for, right? Yes. Okay, now, because all of you guys you guys are stalwart being out here in the cold. First of all, can I big up that cat over there? Can we please acknowledge bringing a little of the Portland magic? We love a fairy tale creature. I just want to thank you for being creative and being in this space. Please get a round of applause to the yellow cat, everybody, please. No King's cat, no King's kitty over there. We appreciate it. There was a person over here who had a toilet sort of setup that was very creative as well. Big it up to all the creative people in the house. Now I want to take you all to the great state of Arizona. Wouldn't you rather be in Arizona right now? Yeah. Just pretend like you feel it. Feel Arizona in your spirit. Feel the warmth of the sun, right? Yeah. Okay, we're going to be warm in our spirits because we're as cold as hell out here right now. But that's okay, because coming to the stage are two people who you're really going to want to hear from. Representative Yasemin Ansari, representing Arizona's great 3rd District. And she is here with Sonia Almaraz. And Sonia Almaraz, I should say. Sonia Almaraz is the partner of Yari Marquez, who has leukemia and who has suffered severe medical neglect for more than a year. at the Eloy Detention Center in Central Arizona. These are literally the kinds of stories and nightmares that are taking place in the Trump-Epstein era of the United States. So please give a warm round of applause and show some love to Representative Ansari and to Sonia Alvarez.
Good evening, America. I'm Congresswoman Yasamin Ansari. I'm proud to represent Phoenix, Glendale, and Guadalupe in the U.S. House of Representatives. And tonight it is my absolute honor to be standing here with Sonia Alvarez. Sonia's loved one is Yadi. Yadi is a lawful permanent resident, a green card holder who was stripped of her legal status by Donald Trump's racist mass deportation agenda. For over a year, Yadi has been locked up at the Eloy Detention Center in Arizona. Yadi has leukemia. When I visited her, she was too weak to stand. When I sat with her, I watched her vomit blood. And tonight, while Yadi suffers in detention, Donald Trump stands before Congress and lies to the American people. Donald Trump claims he is going after the worst of the worst, and that is a lie. Yadi has no criminal record. Meanwhile, this administration and the Republican enablers in Congress handed ICE a $75 billion slush fund to terrorize our communities with no accountability. And let's be clear about who built this machine. Stephen Miller built Stephen Miller, the most awful human being, architected this cruel immigration agenda from the ground up. It is an agenda rooted in fear, rooted in hatred, and the belief that some people simply do not belong. Masked agents, violent raids without transparency, communities living in fear. That is not public safety, that is authoritarianism. And the Secretary of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem, oversees all of this. If a cabinet official allows this level of neglect under her watch, then she should be impeached. Authoritarianism is when the government cages the sick, it is when cruelty becomes policy, and it is when federal power is turned inward against our own people. My parents fled an authoritarian regime in Iran. They came to this country because America was supposed to be different. This country welcomed them. It allowed them to work hard and to build a better life. And in one generation, they watched their daughter become the first Iranian American Democrat ever elected to Congress. That is the promise of America. And I refuse to let it be dismantled. The real state of our union is whether people like Yadi are safe, whether the sick receive care, and whether human dignity still matters. So tonight we say together, free Yadi!
Free Yadi!
Free Yadi!
Free Yadi!
Because she belongs here. She deserves care, she deserves dignity, and she deserves freedom. Now I want to turn it over to Sonia, who I've gotten to know through this horrific experience, to share your and Yadi's story.
Thank you, Congresswoman Ansari. I'm honored to stand with you tonight to expose Israel's State of the Union. Yadi is not a criminal, and for a year now, I have had to watch her health. I am so sorry.
It's okay. You got this. You're good.
For a year now, I have had to watch her health deteriorate at the hands of ICE. Yadi has lost over 70 pounds. She's been coughing up blood. for months on daily basis now.
They're monsters!
She's too weak to stand. She has been diagnosed with lymphedema and arthritis on top of her cancer, and now relies on a walker just to move.
We're with you.
Her suffering is preventable, yet ICE has denied the basic medical care. Yari es una compañera amorosa, amiga y miembro de la comunidad que merece dignidad humana. We demand her medical release immediately. Exigimos su libertad inmediata para su cuidado médico. Let us get her back to health so she can continue to fight her immigration case.
Thank you, Sonia. We will never stop fighting for Yadi. Round of applause. And free Yadi. Free Yadi. Free Yadi. Free Yadi.
Free Yadi.
Free Yadi. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great evening.
I'm so sorry!
You're brave.
We appreciate all of you still being out here. We know it's cold, but this mission is very important. We now have the privilege of being able to listen to Charlene Rochard, a model and actress, and perhaps in her most important role, an advocate. She is a survivor of the horrors of Jeffrey Epstein. She has bravely spoken publicly about her experiences of being trafficked as a child, sustaining and suffering from the sexual abuse at the hands of Jeffrey Epstein, and the exploitation of her, and I want to underscore, as a child. And yet the Republicans continue to want to hide from the American people and from the world the transparency that Charlene and the other Epstein survivors deserve. Charlene, this is your time.
Thank you.
Thank you!
Thank you. I am grateful to Congresswoman Randall for welcoming me as her guest for the State of the Union. And I appreciate all of you for giving me the opportunity to share my voice tonight. Thank you. My name is Charlene Rochard, and I stand before you not just as a survivor, but as a mother, a woman, and a citizen who believes deeply in protecting the next generation. People often ask how I found the courage to speak publicly about something so painful. The truth is, I didn't find that courage alone. For years, I carried the weight of my experience in silence. And then a longtime friend, someone who remembered the vivid details of my past interactions with Jeffrey Epstein, encouraged me to reclaim my voice. When I finally stepped forward to tell my truth, I found myself surrounded by a sisterhood of survivors who lifted me up and reminded me that none of us walk this path alone. But I want to be honest about something that rarely gets said out loud. What happened to us didn't end when the abuse ended. Epstein's manipulation and coercive control changed the trajectory of many of our lives. Some of us went from thriving, working hard, building careers, feeling hopeful, to being unable to work at all. Some fell into depression, some carried shame that was never ours to carry. For many of us, it has taken decades to overcome the impact of what happened, decades to heal, and decades to speak. And that is why I'm here tonight. I am speaking out because the next generation deserves better. Our children deserve a world where powerful people cannot harm others without consequence. They deserve a world where survivors are protected, not punished for telling the truth. They deserve a world where silence is not the price of safety. I also want to say something that often gets lost in the noise. I believe that most of humanity are good people. Compassion, love, and peace are not abstract ideals, but are lived values. I've seen them in the survivors who hold each other up. I've seen them in the advocates who refuse to look away. I've seen them in the people who quietly reach out and say, "We believe you." Tonight, as we gather for the People's State of the Union, we are reminded that protecting children is not a partisan issue. It's a human one, and it requires all of us, including every community, every family, every survivor, every ally, to all stand together in unity. My hope is simple, that by sharing my story, I help create a space for others to share theirs. And that together we build a future where no child's life is derailed by someone else's abuse of power. And no survivor has to wait decades to be heard. Thank you for listening. Thank you for believing in survivors. And thank you for standing with us as we fight to protect the next generation.
Thank you!
Please, everybody, let's please support Charlene right now. And please just show her. This is why we're fighting.
Thank you!
Look, it got real on this stage, right? I mean, I think a lot of the time, Katie, people feel like politics it's just theoretical. It's just people giving speeches. It's just people talking. But these stories that you've heard tonight, this is the reason that we elect people to office, because these are not theoretical problems. These are human tragedies, and they're all man-made. Orange man-made, specifically. And what's happened to some of these folks, it is criminal.
Yeah.
And somebody ought to go to prison for it.
Yeah! Lock them up!
For abusing, absolutely. It is unbelievable that we live in a country that has a Justice Department and so much injustice is being done under its nose. This is shameful. These stories that we've heard tonight, this should not be happening in the United States of America. And so this is not about speeches. This is about change. We have to stop this regime. We have to stop this regime. Joining us now, we are going to introduce 4 really important guests, because we really want you all to take these stories in, okay? Exactly. Other countries are managing to hold people accountable, and the United States of America is not capable of holding people accountable. We are creating concentration camps and letting people suffer and die, incarcerated for no reason other than being brown. Come on now. Come on now. If we can't do better than that, I don't even know what to tell you. Let's introduce these guests, my friend.
These are the voices, and this is why we're here tonight at the People's State of the Union. The People's State of the Union. Dr. Troy Jacobs worked on maternal fetal health along with vaccines. You know, the important stuff. Originally from Ethiopia, Dr. Jacobs came to the United States to improve our health outcomes for mothers and children. Fired by the Trump administration during the DOGE cuts after the dismantling of USAID. We're also joined by Yvonne Rodriguez and Alice Goldberg, a music teacher who owns her own small business, whose premiums jolted after Trump's big bullshit bill, and Marlon Ricardo Camejo, whose citizenship appointments were canceled by whom? By Kristi Noem, because she's too busy flying around in her $1,000,000,000 jets. These are the guests, these are the people that you're supposed to be hearing from tonight, not from convicted felon Donald Trump.
It's called, y'all. Good evening, everyone. My name is Yvonne Rodriguez. I work at the intersection of immigration advocacy and storytelling, and I'm here on behalf of Annie Lucia Lopez Bellosa.
Yeah, exactly.
Annie was wrongfully deported while on her way to surprise her family for Thanksgiving. She was standing in the airport lobby waiting to board when agents scanned her ticket twice and claimed there was an error. Moments later, 2 ICE agents approached and handcuffed her and took her away. She spent the night in detention, and less than 24 hours later, she was deported to Honduras, a country facing deep instability in a place she has not called home since she was 8 years old. Annie is a dreamer. She's a 19-year-old student pursuing a business degree at Babson College. She dreams of building a future not just for herself, but for others, opening her own business, uplifting her community, and supporting her family. Instead, she has been met with retaliation, fear, and attempts by the Trump administration and his vigilantes to deport her loved ones and separate her family simply because she dared to speak out. 2 weeks ago, a federal judge ordered the government to facilitate Annie's return to the United States by this Friday. The deadline is now just 72 hours away. And what has the government done? Only a request of a copy of her passport. No clear plan, no urgency, and no guarantee that she will be allowed to return safely to her family without being detained again. Annie is not a case number. She is a daughter, a student, a leader, and a young woman whose future is being held hostage by the Trump administration's regime and cowardice. Annie asked me to share this statement with you all tonight. I'm going to read it first in English and then in Spanish. I want to come home. I want to return to my school, to my family, and to the life I have worked so hard to build. I have done everything asked of me, followed every rule, and still I was treated as if I did not belong. I refuse to give up on my dreams, and I refuse to be silent. I am asking for fairness, for dignity, and for the chance to continue the future I've started in the only country I truly know as home. Now in Spanish. Quiero volver a casa. Quiero regresar a mi escuela, a mi familia y a la vida que he trabajado tan duro para construir. He hecho todo lo que se me ha pedido, he seguido cada regla y aún así fui tratada como algo desechable. Me niego a renunciar a mis sueños y me niego a guardar silencio. Estoy pidiendo justicia, dignidad y la oportunidad de continuar el futuro que comencé en el único país que es mi hogar. The government has a court order. The clock is ticking, 72 hours. And we will not stop speaking until Annie is brought home. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Bring her home.
Good evening, Washington, D.C.
Hello.
I'm Marlon. I'm coming from the great state of Connecticut. I'm son, and also I'm an immigrant. I'm Cuban immigrant that came to this country 3 years ago. I'm here talking on behalf of my dad, Moses Ricardo, that he came to this country 17 years ago, escaping from a dictatorship in Cuba, which is crazy. A so tough regime, and now 17 years later, my dad has to face another authoritarian regime in the U.S. So it's crazy. So 17 years later, my dad's been here working so hard, doing his best, fighting with the fire in California, helping people in the hurricane in North Carolina. Now the administration, this Trump administration, told him that he's a threat for this country.
Certainly there was.
And he cannot become a citizen because he's a threat. There is nothing that can prove more that somebody's not a threat than 17 years working and supporting the country that he loves. I came to this country, he was the one that taught me to love the greatest nation in earth, but that's not what we're seeing. As I said, I'm coming from a regime. It's so important to remark this. So Castro and so many other dictators, they were elected. So those that said, okay, this guy is not a dictator, is not going to be a dictator because people elected. No, that's not the point. He can do it. We are not going to let him. That's for sure. We are not going to let this guy be a dictator. All right, we have two really good people behind us that's going to fight him. And we have to support him too. All right? How are we going to do that? First of all, go and voting. So we're going to vote and we're going to take all these people, haters, out of the Congress. And how also we're gonna continue fighting, doing this. Standing up, no regrets. Just push forward. We got this. And I want to make sure that you guys understand all the people that talk about this is about criminals. This is about illegals. My dad is a green card holder for 17 years. He came here legally, no criminal records. But I don't want him to become a citizen because he's a threat. This is not about nothing like security or nothing like that. This is about racism. If my dad would be white, he's okay, but he's not. He came from a poor country that just pursuing happiness, like so many other people, and that made him a criminal, maybe. So, and I'm so happy and glad to be here, being part of this great event, because we are the people of the State of the Union. We are the people. That's the most important part of this. We are the people. The people is America. America is not a president. America is not an administration. You guys are America. We are America.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hello.
Hello.
Good evening, people. It's been quite a marathon, right? I am Dr. Troy Jacobs. I am a pediatrician. I have had the joy and honor of being a pediatrician for 30 years, providing high-quality care, primary health care to children in the United States and around the world. I have also been doubly lucky for 17 of those years to work as a medical doctor at the U.S. Agency for International Development, working in both disasters and regular times, improving healthcare efficiency and effectiveness around the world. Unfortunately, this all came to an abrupt end in February of 2025 when I was in Ethiopia while ensuring that life-saving child health care occurred. Things like vaccinations, sick care, nutrition, water, and sanitation. What I have witnessed over the last year here in the United States is the impact of the current administration's added burden on families in terms of stresses, in terms of fears, and in terms of costs. Really a Trump health confusion tax on families. I see these disruptions and what they mean to families, including my own, People struggle with greater uncertainty, more fear, more red tape, more bureaucracy. Their care is fragmented. Children miss well child visits, vaccinations, and routine care, things that are wanted by their parents and deemed necessary by vetted science and best practices. Families struggle deciding the right place and the right time for health care, whether they should take their wheezing child to a grocery store clinic, urgent care clinic, their doctor's office, hospital emergency department, or sadly too often, they are dealing with these issues at home alone without any help. We shouldn't have to have a doctor or nurse in our family to be able to navigate the complexities of Medicaid, Medicare, or our health plans. But increasingly, this is what the current administration expects of American families. We need to come out of the cold and darkness of the last year and double down on eliminating the administration's health confusion tax. We need to return to good science, evidence-based guidance, and good practice. And this includes including humans in the loop, people like parents, pediatricians, nurses, and other child health providers, so that we have a place where pediatricians, nurses, and parents are not overburdened with the administration's health confusion tax. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, I'm Alice. My artist's name is Melting Virgo, and I find myself here on stage tonight because my health care that I purchased through the Maryland Exchange went from $28 a month to $248 a month. Last fall, before the federal subsidies were cut, I was beginning to look into buying my first home that could double as a lesson studio, but that is just not a viable option anymore. But let me rewind. I earned my master's degree in energy and environmental public policy from the University of Maryland, College Park. Go Terps! So naturally, I ended up becoming a self-employed piano and voice teacher. Since I work on the weekend and during after school hours, I spend a lot of time advocating for these policies that I care so much about. And sometimes my students take notice when I come back a little sweaty. And one of them said to me one time, wait, we can do something about climate change? She's 12 and she didn't know. And that made my blood boil. A 6-year-old just the other day turned to me and said, people are bad for the planet. I had to tell her, no, people aren't bad for the planet, but there are some people who are bad for the planet, and that is the billionaires who profit off of keeping us sick. They pollute our communities, predominantly Black and brown communities, and then they make us pay the price. This administration is removing every single safety net imaginable just to turn around and give corporate welfare to the Epstein class. Every time federal lawmakers say that we don't have money to fund public services like healthcare, they are lying. We can make high-quality healthcare, education, transportation, and housing accessible for everybody. We can balance our relationship with our environment through indigenous leadership. And we must liberate everyone who's been abducted by ICE.
Yes!
This takes revolutionary optimism, and it also needs real-world organizing, which is why I recently joined my local chapter of the Democratic Socialists of America. No more doom scrolling. We must show up and create hope. One of the best ways I've found to create hope is to sing. I have a song that I wrote last summer in solidarity with our neighbors who are being abducted by ICE. It is in English and Spanish at the same time, and it needs some crowd participation, so I hope that you'll join me. And I'll also invite Joy up quickly to get this song going. And I'm putting her on the spot. She's never heard this song before. Okay, so I need you to hold down the underlying chant. We're gonna do that in English, okay? It goes, they cannot imprison us all, they cannot imprison us all, they cannot imprison us all, they cannot
imprison us all. They
No pueden encarcelarnos a todas. 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 No pueden encarcelarnos a todas.
imprison us all.
You did amazing. Yes. You get an A. I don't give grades though. We just go on vibes, and the vibes were immaculate.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Let's give another round of applause to all of these amazing assets to the community of the United States of America. This is what we want. Here's my suggestion. Maybe we should deport Donald Trump. Yeah! What do you think? Keep all of these beautiful people and deport Trump. Katie Bang, how are we going to end this beautiful, wonderful evening?
We're telling everybody who's here, well, first of all, Joy and I want to say the following. We want to say thank you to the members of the press that are here, that have been here in the cold, documenting this. This is important. So we appreciate all of you that are here, that have been here. We also appreciate all of you diehards that have stayed here, and everybody who's watching us on the live streams. Go to SOTU.org for what? No King's Day 3.0, March 28th. Thank you for being here. I'm Katie Fang.
I'm Joy Ann Reed.
And this is the People's State of the Union.